Let's just see how much grip we've got there without the electronics helping out. The Honda Civic Type R, what an awesome package this is. I'm so glad that Honda, you know, keeps its Type R badge alive and well. I wish there were more Type R variants of its vehicles, because they're in their own league. They're exciting, they're very genuine as well. Like, everything about this car feels like it's here on purpose, kind of thing. It's a proper driver's machine. Manual gearbox, front wheel drive, nice tight differential at the front, plenty of power from the engine as well, very well balanced. It looks cool on the outside, especially in this blue color. Got a big carbon fiber rear wing sticking up there, just to let people know that this is a serious package. It's not just a sticker pack. Under the bonnet, we've got a 2-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder engine producing 235 kilowatts and 420 newton meters, making it one of the most powerful front-wheel drive hot hatches currently on sale, if not the most powerful, and that's channeled through a 6-speed manual transmission with front-wheel drive. There is no automatic option. You've got massive 265 tyres all round. That just goes to show you the attention to detail, and it also points to how serious Honda is about handling and grip. Beautiful shift action from this manual as well. It's quite short in action, and it just goes home every single time. 6th gear and 4th gear, actually, you feel like you're just pushing it forward then pulling it back again. You're not moving it side to side hardly at all, but it knows, or it seems to know, what gear I want. If I want 4th or 6th. It's just, yeah, it's almost perfect. I have, you know, there are even smoother gear shifts out there, but I think for a current model, this is probably one of the best. All right, let's just give it some and see what's what. I've got a few different drive modes to choose from. I've got the Honda pages, or the R pages up, and this you can toggle through, and you've got different displays and so on. I'll just leave it on that one so you can see the boost pressure there in kPa, and my G-force meter there as well. But you've also got a number of drive modes on the dash, including comfort, sport, individual, so you can customize, mix and match different parameters, including for the suspension, steering, engine, rev matching. And then you've also got the full R mode as well, or plus R mode. We'll just start actually in the normal comfort mode, just to see what it's like. You do have a bit of fake sound coming through the speakers in the plus R mode, which I think is, yeah, it's not really good enough for a Type R. You don't need fake sounds. Just make the engine sound however it needs to sound, and that's it. You know, don't worry about trying to make or enhance it in any way. Type Rs were never really about that. They were high revving, naturally aspirated. They sounded what they sounded like. There was no you know, artificial character to it at all. Whereas this now, turbocharged, obviously it doesn't rev as high as past generations. I think it sounds pretty good. It's got that nice Honda roaring, you know, barking kind of soundtrack, but there's no burbling and pops and bangs from the actual mufflers at the back. It's got a bit of bass to it, but yeah, there are definitely other hot hatches on the market, like the i30N, that really pops and bangs if that's what you're after. Second gear, awesome differential in this. It really doesn't let away any inside wheel spin. Awesome grip, look at that. And it just picks up like you're in a vacuum. It's absolutely awesome performance from this, especially while you're on the go. The ride quality, look, it's sporty and firm, but it's not bone jarring. I think it's a good balance. I think the previous gen Type R was a little bit more comfortable on the road, but then this is likely going to be a more hardcore package when you take it to the track compared with the previous model. I mean, this held the Nürburgring record for a front wheel drive for a period there, so obviously it has been set up for serious business. Despite being quite a highly strung engine, this can actually run on 91 RON fuel if you want to. I mean, it is compatible, although I would recommend 95 or even 98 to get the maximum out of it. And just to help with overall reliability and longevity, you probably get better economy out of 95 or 98 as well, because the computer doesn't have to adjust so much, especially in hot Australian conditions. But yeah, it is interesting to see that you can actually run it on 91 if you want to. Down this tight, twisty section, awesome front end grip. And you can heel and toe, you've got perfect pedal placement. I've got the rev matching activated at the moment, so I don't need to heel and toe, but I still do anyway, just because it feels good, it feels engaging and interactive. Yeah, that's awesome performance getting away from corners, even over bumps. I'll switch it over into the plus R mode in a second and just see how that goes on this road. This is quite a challenging road in terms of bumps and all of that, so it can upset the balance of the vehicle if it's too soft or if it's too firm. So I'll see in a second, but so far you've got shift lights. It's a weapon. It really is an absolute machine for a front wheel drive. It's got to be one of the most, if not the most dynamic front wheel drive pretty much ever made, I think, or at least what I've driven. I haven't driven a front wheel drive that is more overall capable than this. The closest thing is probably the i30N, but that's a little bit more sort of playful and a bit more interactive. You've got various modes to play around with, whereas this is, yeah, it just seems like a sharper tool overall. That's full throttle. A little bit of wheel spin, tugging away at the wheel. It's kind of greasy conditions along here. Getting the red line. Yeah, look at that. That's insane. Around here, this tight left-hander, full throttle, is just ripping me around there. No hesitation, no lack in confidence whatsoever. It's just, yep, let's go. Awesome brakes as well. You can really dive on. There is a bit of movement, which I quite like a bit of nose diving under heavy braking. That way you can sort of unweight the back a little bit to help it tuck into the corners, reduce any understeer. Yeah, this is a focus machine. Sorry if I'm not talking for some of this, because I'm just both enjoying it and just being engaged with it. Full throttle. Over some bumps there, skipping and spinning a little bit. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, going back down, we'll flick it over into the plus R mode. The digital dash changes around to a more digital display setup. And you can hear that fake sound coming through. Look, it does mimic kind of an old school induction noise a bit. But, you know, come on, it's a Type R. Just give it a bimodal exhaust or even a bimodal intake if you wanted to. It doesn't need the fake sounds. I mean, it is enhancing the drive. And it does make it feel more exciting and faster and all of that. But a mechanical change would be preferable, I think. Full throttle, plenty of grip. You can actually, it's quite a peaky engine, like an old school setup, where you've got decent mid-range pull as well. But yeah, as you rev it out, it starts to like chirp and spin the wheels a little bit. Like that's where power is, at the top. This is not just a mid-range turbo machine. This is very much, I mean, it's quite linear, but you've definitely got a lot more up in the rev range. As you can, well, you might be able to tell, but the suspension is quite firm in that setting. It's actually too firm for this road, I think. So what I'm going to do, because I hope the camera's not bouncing around too much, I'm going to put it into the custom mode, and that way we can pretty much have everything in R except for the suspension. So someone's already done that. So R for the engine, R for the steering, engine sound, I'll put that in the R mode. Rev matching as well, and the gauges. So now we've pretty much got the R mode, but we've got the comfort suspension. And comfort suspension is still perfectly hot hatch for the road. Like it's firm, it's braced. It's not at all sloppy or anything like that. It's just able to absorb some of these sharper impacts that you get on you know, pretty regular roads. Full power. Yeah, what an absolute machine. And it is good you've got that versatility there too. So even if you're taking it on the track, you can play around with the different settings and just find a good balance that suits you and suits the track. So this is third gear and it's pulling from 3,000 RPM. It's not, that's what I mean, it's not just a peaky engine. It's with the turbocharger, it's able to pick up speed thanks to the extra boost that it gets, the torque low down, but then it still has that peaky top end. That's third gear and it's ready to go, like up a hill as well. So now the ESC is turned off. Let's just see how much grip we've got there without the electronics helping out. I mean, I don't remember the light flashing at all anyway, but that's so good. Like it's a real driver's car. You can tell that the people that have engineered this love driving, and they've obviously spent a lot of time on the track and out on winding roads like this to make sure that it's not only handling it, but providing the thrills and the excitement that you want from a driver's car. Look at that. No slip, no nothing. It just pulled me around there, yanked me around there. Yeah, this is a good car, that's for sure. And then to top it off, it's based on the latest Civic, so you've got good practicality, heaps of space in the back, the rear seat, legroom is more than most hatchbacks in this class actually, and then you've got a nice big boot as well. So this is totally fine for, you know, weekends away or even running the kids to school. You could get away with using this as a practical everyday car. Yeah, well, what can I say? It's not really a review, this is just check out this car, because I can't really criticize it. It really is a hot hatch in the genuine sense. You've got, as I said, plenty of space inside. Fuel consumption, I'm averaging around 9.2 litres per 100 kilometres. The official average is 8.7, so it's not far off that. I think you could get close to the official rating as well with some more, you know, regular driving. I've been probably enjoying it more than I've been driving it in a normal manner. But yeah, I think fuel economy is okay for the performance you're getting. In terms of things I would change, probably the exhaust note or the induction sound. It'd be good to get some of that, you know, old school VTEC roaring induction noise happening. It does sound all right. I think I prefer it without the R mode fake sounds coming through. Like, I just like the natural, it's a bit quieter, but just the natural Honda sound in the background at the front there without the fake sounds. But I mean, you've got that versatility to choose and pick and choose your favorite settings anyway. So that is good that they've got those different modes that you can pick from. Aside from that, yeah, I can't really fault it at all. It is an absolute machine of a hot hatch, probably the best hot hatch so far ever made. Well, maybe not ever made, but for a modern hot hatch. Like, it's not electrified or anything like that. It's still quite light, 1,430 kilograms roughly. That's pretty low for a 2026 car. The other main thing is, of course, the price. This is around $85,000. That's pretty extreme for, you know, something that's not an AMG all-wheel drive or anything like that. But it is very hardcore. So you're paying for proper ability. You're not just paying for a badge and some stickers. It's an actual, you know, you're getting some proper engineering in return. But yeah, I think if you're weighing it up against some of the rivals like the i30N, this is a big jump up. If they could bring that down, even if they brought out like a core model, that would be cool. So without maybe the big wing on the back, maybe reduce some of the settings, just have a one mode kind of thing, a bit more stripped back. I think that would be cool as well, just to bring down the price a little bit as well. That might sell quite well. The good thing about the Type R though is it will likely appreciate in value over time, especially this could be the last of the non-hybrid hot hatches from Type R. Hopefully not, but yeah, adding hybrid tech obviously adds a lot of weight, and that's not really what the core of the Type R has been about. But anyway, I think this is a fantastic package. You've got to drive one for yourself to know what's going on here. It is, yeah, an absolute machine. All right, let's head off now and do the performance test and see how we go. I've tested the 2023 model, basically the same as this. I'll try as hard as I can to get a good time, and just keep in mind, the video footage is just footage. I spent a lot longer actually testing it with the V-Box to get the best result out of it, trying, you know, really fast shifting and all that. The videos that you see, I try you know, good effort, but with the V-Box I sit there for a long time with cool down in between, just to really get the most out of it. Anyway, it is front wheel drive, and we're on an unprepped surface. I think if you're on a drag strip, you'd get even better results. Let's see anyway.